Yeah, and it's not clear so far yet, since this just happened like this morning, if the gunman was a student or not, or he was by himself.
He was acting all alone.
Yeah, so there's still a lot to be figured out, and if you keep up with the Kansan on Twitter and everything and online, then you will.
Yeah, and
they'll give you updates.
One of the trending hashtags this morning was #PrayForFSU. So there's support all around the world for those students at Florida State University this morning.
Very sad, very scary. You know, we almost had a similar situation a few weeks ago with the Guy Fawkes people. You know, we were very lucky that they, you know, everybody was so scared that they did have guns. So it was kind of like our trial run almost, which is very sad that it could be considered
testing at the university alert system and everything like that. And I know we're still keeping up on that Guy Fawkes case. He had his first day of trial yesterday. So, you know, but definitely it does make you think about what would have happened here if something like a real dangerous situation.
You know, you never think it'll happen to you, and then it almost happened to us, and then it really did happen somewhere else. So, it's very scary. So our prayers are with all of the people at Florida State right now.
Absolutely.
And hopefully they all make it okay. So in other kind of crazy news, the Hunger Games, total swerve, are premiering tonight. But in Thailand, in Bangkok, students were arrested for doing the Hunger Games peace sign, the three-finger salute that they do in the movie. And the police were saying it was like one of the quotes from the police officer is, "If we allow one group to hold political activities, then other groups would want to do the same thing. We would never achieve peace and order, which we are trying to restore." So I found that very shocking. I know they had they had disruptions in political issues in May. So it's kind of things are probably
crazy. It's like the movie is actually coming to real life. It's like Katniss is not only
is using her mark,
not only stirring up trouble in the movies and kind of like as a leader, but I guess now in real life she's using that.
I know. So the students were arrested, but they have been released. But there was like 100 military and officers called in for this. I can't believe that.
So that was a big deal in Thailand this morning. Just all from this movie premiere that's coming out.
It's crazy the impact that movies and everything can have on everywhere in the world. So it's pretty cool. So in other news, this is another big switch, but a week from today is Thanksgiving. My favorite holiday.
I'm so excited. Turkey Day, 1 week from today. So excited to eat all of that pumpkin pie and turkey and everything.
Oh my gosh, it is just the best.
But if you happen to find yourself in New York, I know there's a big
very lucky
Macy's
if you are.
Thanksgiving Day parade, but there is something new that is going in Times Square. Just when you think that Times Square can get no more brighter, they just put in a huge new billboard, and it is about a block long, and
that is
8
huge.
stories high, and it is an HD billboard. And so really it's the length of a football field, but it just spans a whole block, and it just looks humongous to me.
And it's so big. Oh my gosh.
So it debuted this week, and Google is taking advantage of this, and from November 24th to the end of the year, Google has free reign of that billboard, and it can really do whatever it wants.
I cannot wait to see what they are going to do with that. That is, my family actually owns a billboard company, so my parents would just be like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what you think of. That has to be so much money and all the energy that it costs to run that billboard."
And now Times Square is just going to be that much more brighter, but they have to be able to do something really cool with that. I think we could maybe see some really cool advertising on that.
I'm actually very excited to see what they're going to do with this billboard.
For sure. Well, stick around. We are going to be right back with our guest, and he's going to be talking about his sports show.
785 Live. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. We are here with our guest, Melia from 785 Live. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, as always, Good Morning KU comes at 10 o'clock, and then right after at 11 is 785 Live, your sports show. So, can you tell us a little bit what you're going to be talking about today?
Well, today we'll go over the regular headlines. Obviously, KU basketball is a big topic after the loss against Kentucky. Some KU football, then some Royals headlines with Billy Butler signing with the Oakland Athletics for a 3-year, $30 million deal. And then also we'll discuss some Chiefs and then cap it off with some NCAA football.
Nice. So kind of diving into this KU football, I know I had a big game this weekend. It was senior night, and you could tell they were really jazzed up. They came out and had a really great performance against TCU. And, you know, everyone thought they were going to get crushed, I think, but they played very well and a lot better than people thought. So what are your kind of thoughts about that finishing the rest of the season?
Well, it's going to be hard to match the emotion that was kind of captured in that game because it was senior night. It was the last home game for about 20 seniors on this team. Guys like Ben Heaney, guys like Ja'Cory Shepherd, who are kind of the unsung leaders of this team. And it's going to be hard to match that, especially because they'll be down in Norman. But going into Norman, the key is going to be how they can play with a good amount of intensity, because I think that was really what drove the game in Memorial Stadium last weekend. And I mean, they almost beat a team that could very well see themselves down in Dallas for the national championship come January. So it's really going to be matching that intensity. Cody Thomas, he's the backup quarterback for Oklahoma. He will be starting, filling in for Trevor Knight, and Trevor Knight's been hurt for a couple games now. Cody Thomas did not have the best game in a win against Texas Tech down in Lubbock. He threw 3 interceptions, but he was very, very potent on the ground. So they got to watch out. He's a dual threat, but that's something to look forward to.
Right. So, you know, stay tuned. At 11 o'clock, you'll have more about KU football. How about KU basketball? I know you mentioned, you know, they did play Kentucky. I think some people like to think that there was not a game this week and just kind of overlook that. But what about going forward for KU basketball? Any thoughts? You know, Bill Self's going to work some magic maybe?
Yeah, well, basically, when you suffer this kind of loss, it's good that it's in November, because the only thing better than December blowouts are November blowouts, where you have a lot of time to fix the problems, and all the freshmen and even some of the sophomores and juniors, they'll listen a little closer to Bill Self, kind of rely on him more, because Bill Self, yes, he hasn't probably been through a loss like this before, but he's been through stuff like this. He's had teams that go through some starting kind of just poor play at the start, and he already said that he was going to toss out the game film, because there really wasn't much to look at. They just got dominated, and they didn't play well, but Kentucky forced them to play pretty poorly as well. Kentucky is, I mean, there's
a very good team.
There's already things out where Kentucky, are they going to go undefeated this year? There's already stuff like that. So Kentucky's a great team, and there's no shame in losing to Kentucky, but they really need to fix and not suffer that. I mean, they play Florida in a couple weeks, December 5th. That's here.
It's going to be a big game.
And Florida's a great team. They already lost one game at home, but they did have one of their stars. He was suspended, Chris Walker. So they're going to have to get stuff. They're going to have to right the ship, so to say.
Right. I think there's big things ahead for KU basketball, but I think they'll improve over the course of the year. So, you know, last question. You're obviously a big sports guy. You have a favorite sport that you like to talk?
Well, college basketball is always really fun. Right now, I think me and my co-host Nick, we're really into NCAA football, especially with the new format with the 4-team playoff. That's really, it just kind of it sparks a topic, and it sparks a debate within, like, who's going to get in, who's going to get out, and all the different situations.
Gotcha. Very cool. Well, make sure everyone stay tuned at 11 o'clock for 875 Live. And thank you so much for being here, GJ. I know your show is a lot of fun to watch. So stay tuned, 11 o'clock, 875 Live.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you your identity for life. The University of Kansas. A great place to be you.
Hi, I'm Carlo.
And I'm Sunny Kim. Here's today's news update. A shooting on the Florida State University campus injured 3 students late Wednesday night. Tallahassee police responded quickly and killed the gunman after he opened fire on them outside the library where students were studying for final exams. Of the 3 injured students, 1 was treated and released at the scene, while the other were taken to the Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare Hospital. According to the Associated Press, 1 is in stable condition and 1 remains in critical condition.
The northern United States is bracing itself for more snowstorms after 7 people were killed this past week. Another 3 feet of snow is expected to hit upstate New York, while parts of the state are already under 5 feet of snow. People have been experiencing record low temperature across the country. The weather has affected travel, sports, and school days.
The University of Kansas Hospital received a $10 million donation in the form of a challenge match from philanthropist Annette Bloch yesterday. The donation will be used for cancer laboratories and operating rooms. The challenge match requires the hospital to raise $10 million as well. So far, the hospital has raised about $1.5 million towards the challenge match.
KU volleyball got its revenge against Iowa State, winning in 4 sets. The Jayhawks extended their streak to 4 straight wins. Last month, the Cyclones won in a 5-set finish, but this time the Jayhawks were at home and had all the fans by their side. The Jayhawks will play the Texas on Saturday at 3 p.m.
A great white shark was found dead in one of the protective nets off the coast of Australia. The nets were put in place to protect swimmers from shark attacks. The netting program has proven to be an effective process, but has killed thousands of sharks that are believed to not be responsible for the shark attacks.
An Egyptian radio station has banned the song of popular singer Hamza Namera because they criticize the authorities. Human rights activists believe that the station is silencing everyone who is not praising the president. Namera became popular about 3 years ago with his lyrics speaking of hope and freedom. And that wraps up for today. We'll be back with the weather forecast.
Welcome back. We have Jasmine outside the Union with the weather. How's it looking out there today, Jasmine?
Thank you, Katie. I've got some good news, Jayhawks. No more freezing your face off at those bus stops. It is warming up this week. Right now we're about 25 degrees. And as you can see, the sun is shining and it's a beautiful morning in Lawrence. And today the high will be 41 degrees.
Oh, that's great. Great news. How is it going to look for this weekend?
This weekend it'll continue to warm up. Tomorrow we're at about a high of 45 degrees, but also a slight chance of rain. Saturday, it will be 61 degrees. So you can put away your coats, but you may need an umbrella because there is a 40% chance of rain that day. And Sunday, it'll start cooling back down into the lower 50s with a 60% chance of rain.
Well, that's good, better news than how it's been this past week. So yes. I know Thanksgiving is next week. What can we expect around here for Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving week, it'll start cooling back down, but staying in about the 40s. So enjoy the warmth and that home-cooked meal. Back to you, Katie.
All right, thank you so much, Jasmine. And that is going to do it for us today on Good Morning KU. Thank you so much, and stick around for 785 Live at 11.